This is probably going to be one of my favorite videos I ever made. YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here with another Washington Commanders video. It's still taking some time to get used to, but we're here, we're live. And as you can see by the title, we're going to be talking about why I personally think Russell Wilson and the Washington Commanders makes perfect sense. It's a perfect match that needs to be made. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload a video about the NFL, or in this case our Washington Commanders. Let's get straight into today's video. First things first, I'm still on the trend of hating hashtag take command. I do not like that slogan. Someone else need to come up with a better slogan. Hashtag take command sounds so champ to me, fool. I don't like it. Someone else come up with a new slogan or whatever. But that's not what today's video is about. Again, today's video is about Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson to DC. Russell Wilson to the Washington Commanders makes perfect sense. If you guys don't know, give you a little bit of backstory, and I've said this multiple times, Russell Wilson is my favorite NFL player out of the whole league, as in everybody. He's my favorite player. And I love Russell Wilson, man. And it may be a little biased here just because I'm a big fan of Russ, but I think him coming to D.C. makes perfect sense. Talks are starting to heat up, or at least rumors from fans are starting to heat up. Jonathan Allen took a picture with him and Sierra, his wife too. They all took a picture. Man, it just makes sense, right? Russell is obviously from Virginia. You know what I'm saying? And he's just an excellent player. I love Russell Wilson. But the reason why I think it makes perfect sense, Washington, we're a quarterback away from competing. I've been feeling like that since last year. We know this team is a quarterback away from winning something big. Washington obviously is interested in drafting a quarterback, but we know this class isn't the strongest at drafting a quarterback, or at least had the strongest quarterbacks in this, crop of guys this year. So Washington, they want to get a quarterback. They want to get a quarterback that can win now. It's a veteran, a Super Bowl winning quarterback, a guy that's always in the MVP conversation. It makes sense. You know how much Ron Rivera loves his veteran guys, so why not go out and get a top-tier veteran? Make the trade happen, Ronald. Stop waiting. We need Russell Wilson here in D.C. Do whatever it takes. Again, Russell Wilson is probably going to want to come here too, not only because it's his home. He's finally going to have an offensive line. I don't remember the last time Russell Wilson has had an offensive line. Do you? Every time I watch Russ, every year, as of recent years, he's running for his life. He's coming to here with a top 10 offensive line. When did we finish? Like 6th this year? Counting the missing pieces that we had, when we had no Chase Roulier, no Tyler Larson, no Sam Cosmi, our second-round stud, Brandon Sheriff out too, and we still finished top 10 in the league? Shout out to John Masco, man. Wes Schweitzer had to play center and then he got hurt. He's coming to a great situation in my opinion. Only thing, maybe you could say add another receiver, but even still he has weapons. Bonafide number 1 in Terry McLaurin. Bonafide number 1 tight end in Logan Thomas when he comes back from his injury. Maybe we're missing a number 2. And maybe that's where you go in the draft and take a chance on a Jameson Williams in the second round if he falls that far, due to his torn ACL. That's where you probably go and get an AJ Green in free agency to pair up with Terry and Curtis Samuel. Antonio Gibson, J.D. McKissick, if we re-sign him, please. Hell, that brings back to Seattle. That brings up back to Seattle connection too with J.D. and Russ. It's loaded over here. I understand we have holes, but do you guys realize a quarterback will cover up so much? A quarterback will cover up so much. Again, I said this so many times. Tom Brady covered up a lot of New England holes for years. And again, New England really didn't have that many holes because they had a solid defense here and there. But a quarterback covers up so many holes. Mahomes with Kansas City. Their defense is cool. But you remember 2 years ago, was it 2020? Their defense was awful. Or last year, I should say, because this year's not completely over. A quarterback covers up so much. So all that, we need a free safety. We need a linebacker. All that, yeah, that's true. But if we get a star-studded quarterback here in Washington, that is not going to matter. trust and believe that it's not going to matter. So we need to find a way to get Russell Wilson. It's pertinent. Could you just imagine Terry finally having a star quarterback, man? Again, like I said, this is the perfect year to get Russell Wilson. Because, again, yeah, you may draft a Desmond Ridder or someone of that nature. But I don't know if he's going to be able to come in here and win right away. And, again, you know Ron loves his veteran quarterbacks. So why not get a top-tier veteran? Must I say it again? Super Bowl winning quarterback. Always in the MVP conversation. Obviously, due to this year was probably his worst year of his career. But this is the first time I ever seen Russell Wilson play bad, and it was due to a hand injury. It makes sense, bro. Like, it makes sense. We have the weapons. We have the protection. That should be the biggest reason. That should be the biggest point number one why you would want to come here. We can protect you, Russ. I know you're tired of getting put on your back every play. I know you are. It makes sense. Then you flip sides to the defense. You have a really good defense that could support you too. And yeah, I understand. We didn't have the best year, from the beginning last year, but we eventually picked it up, and we were missing our 2 bookend pass rushers for majority of the year. I understand that. But this defense talent is still out the roof. We have one of the best safeties in all of football. Yes, I said it in Cameron Curl. We have one of the best interior defensive linemen in Jonathan Allen, a person that you shook hands with, you and your wives took pictures together. I really hope John Allen is trying to persuade him to DC. I really do. It makes sense, bro. I know you tired of being in Seattle. They lose you, they're officially starting their rebuild. I don't know why they haven't fired Pete Carroll yet. They need to tear it down. They need to tear it down, to be honest with you. So you may be asking, what will we send to Russ? Or send to Seattle? 2022 first, 2023 first, maybe a 2023 second, and Montez Sweat or Chase Young. Pick your poison. I personally would send Montez Sweat, although he is better than Chase Young at this current juncture. You can't replace the upside with Chase Young. You can't. You spent the number 2 overall pick on him, and he's coming off of an injury-riddled season, and he also wasn't performing the best. The potential is still there. The potential is still there with Chase Young. So if I had to choose, I would give up Montez Sweat. And it's no hard feelings with Tez. You're a great player. Just a business decision. I know y'all probably going to say, throw in Payne. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Seattle's going to want Payne. I really don't. So I think that would probably be the best option for Washington, or they could at least try. This is what I would do. You know how they say when you're trying to negotiate, always negotiate something, like don't negotiate what you really want. Negotiate something other than that, like outrageous or something like that. And then the other person will try to be like, nah, we're going to come a little bit more realistic, but whole time, that's really what you wanted. You know how you gotta play mind games with the negotiation thing, right? So probably offer, 2 firsts and a second, see what that gets you. If they be like, nah, that's cool, but we want a player too, and they say Tez, that's what I wanted the whole time. You know what I'm saying? So again, it just makes perfect sense. It does. So Russell Wilson to DC. What's stopping it? Ronald, make it happen. Make it happen, man. Russell to Terry, Curtis, Logan, JD. If we re-sign him. AG, you have a compliment run game too. I know you're tired of Chris Carson always being injured. I know you are. You don't gotta worry about that with AG, man. I mean, AG gets hurt, but he plays. I know you tired of not having Chris Carson. I know you are. And Rashad Penny had a hell of a season this season too. So I mean, I'm not saying he not good or whatever, but he ain't AG. He ain't JD. He ain't JP. You know what I mean? So make it happen, Ronald. I don't know why we're just not. This is literally the perfect fit for Russell Wilson. So again, it just makes too much sense, man. Again, I'll run down why. Ron Rivera loves his veteran quarterbacks. Russell Wilson is a veteran quarterback that has won a Super Bowl and that's still playing at a high level despite having a struggle season last year due to his play on the field and a hand injury that affected him throughout the whole season. And I personally felt like he came back too soon. He has protection, a top 10 offensive line, something that he hasn't had in Seattle and I don't know how long, if ever. He has a bona fide number 1 receiver in Terry McLaurin. Get you another number 2 receiver if you want to, like AJ Green, a veteran to complement Terry. Curtis in the slot. Dayami first off the bench. You have a great running game in Antonio Gibson and J.D. McKissick if we re-sign him and you have rapport with J.D. You have a bona fide number 1 tight end in Logan Thomas, and John Bates had a hell of a season. I would love to re-sign Ricky Seals-Jones, but if we don't, we can probably replace him with ease. Then you flip sides of the defense. Again, I know the defense struggled, but we were missing our 2 bookend pass rushers for the majority of the year. We can fix that. We can fix that. I promise you. The defense, outside of obviously the injuries, we were pretty good towards the end of the season. We moved Landon Collins, the linebacker. Cam Curl was playing at a high level throughout the whole season. Bobby McCain seemed like he got his stuff together towards the end. William Jackson eventually caught on before he went down with injury. Again, the biggest problem with our defense, besides missing our 2 pass rushers, was just injuries. Injuries and COVID. Russ, come to DC. It makes too much sense. So yeah, man, there you have it. As always, it's me, boy Juan Gotti. Like, comment, subscribe, hell to the Washington football team, or hell to the Washington Commanders. I'm out. Peace.